Here's another just a random question from my list of things to ask you. Uh, have you ever really surprised yourself or impressed yourself with a physical feat where you're like, oh damn, I'm pretty amazing.
Um, yes. And I mean, it's sort of weird to say of like, yeah, that was friggin' awesome. Um, Two things. I will say when I was doing adventure racing, and for those who don't know Eco Challenge or that sport, it's multi-day team sports where you're kayaking, you're running, you're navigating, you're biking, you're riding horses sometimes, and really truly were expeditions, and the teams are co-ed. And so typically I was the lone female on a team of three big strong burly guys, and that was a really great education for me to see, over then the races were 7 to 10 days, very little sleep deprivation, and you're carrying everything with you. And you really start to see the team dynamics when people are cold and hungry and lost and super duper tired. And there were definitely multiple times where, usually about after day 3, where the first couple days I'm hanging on for dear life, not able to keep up, thinking I suck, I'm terrible, I'm too weak, I can't do this. And then the switch would flip about day 3, where I didn't feel like I was going any faster, but all of a sudden I could keep up. And there were times where I would carry the backpack for, one time in particular, one of the strongest men I've ever raced with, John Jacoby's Australian guy, and he's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, just like solid muscle. And he was spent and he was done. And I carried his backpack, this big, huge guy, my backpack, his backpack, and he's a towering tree trunk next to me. And that was really a moment where I was like, okay, we all can offer, we're all strong at some point, we're all weak at some point, but to carry John's backpack, and that was a race in Vietnam. And yeah, I carried his backpack for a while, and that happened multiple times where I would be given proof. And like you said, people around us are a mirror to ourselves. And had I not been with 4 people or 3 other people, I might have felt like, oh, I'm not moving fast enough, I'm not doing a good job. But I have this direct comparison with my teammates of like, oh, right now I'm the strong one, okay, I can contribute right now. And then when I need help, they'll contribute. And so that happened multiple times over and over again, of getting a reflection of like, wow, I'm the strongest one in this moment. Not that I was the whole time, but a comparison of like, okay, I can pick up the slack. And that's a really good feeling of being able to give and help. And most of us, we're not great at asking for help, but we always want to give it. It makes us feel really good to be like, I got it, I can push that bike, I can do this thing. I will say, in response to your question, the proudest expedition I've ever been in my life was last year's Iditarod Trail Invitational. And that's not the one that it was my 3rd one, doing the 350, and with the long-term goal of doing the 1,000-mile. And so my husband went back again, and we elected to do the ride fully unsupported. So what that meant is we didn't go into any of the lodges for water or to sleep. We basically didn't go inside a building for 7 days. And so we slept outside, we built fires, we melted snow for our water. There were a couple lodges along the way where you can buy food or at least get warm. And so we didn't do that. We elected to do it fully self-supported. And my thought was, hey, if I can't do this, then I have no business doing the 1,000-mile version if I can't survive on the trail without shelter. And so we did it. We're the only 2 people to complete the course that year in that style. And so like literally, like there'll be like a small little cabin and they're like making bratwurst, and that's a checkpoint and everyone's going inside and eating bratwurst, and we're literally camped like next to it, like smelling bratwurst and just being like, no, we're going to just make our dehydrated meal and go to the river and get some water and boil water. And so it was a lot more work. But I finished first female, 6th overall. And again, we're the only people to do it fully self-supported. And it might not sound like a big deal, but I'll refer back to the fact that I'm not very good in cold. I've always been afraid of it. I have poor circulation. I have lung issues. And so for me to be able to do that is something I never thought I would be able to do. And at 52, to do the best expedition of my life that I was the most proud of, the most prepared for, yeah, that felt pretty good. So that's part of the building blocks of doing the 1,000-mile next year, and continuing my training and preparation for that. But I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah,
Jay,
congrats.
like he was out there that year with a young mentor, a young kid he was mentoring, and they had planned to do it unsupported as well. And they caved in and went inside and got the bratwurst. And even Jay, like my mentor, was like, wow, that was a really awesome achievement. So
I can smell the bratwurst right now.
I know.
How,
that was very cruel to like be able to smell the barbecue grill going and just like, oh.
There's a story that I heard sometime, might have been from Stephen Kotler talking about a surfer. But it's so how do you prepare for a 1,000-mile self-supported race? Well, like, what's the next closest thing? Okay, well, the 350-mile self-supported race. And this guy was talking about the biggest, Laird Hamilton, when he surfed that 70-foot wave, and it was the biggest wave ever surfed, but he had actually surfed a 60-foot wave the day before. And so the difference for him between the 60-foot wave and the 70-foot wave was a couple percentage points
That's
harder.
Right.
And it's like, we all do, when I go to work and, you know, like maybe one show to the next, I'll be, you know, 1% better in some way. But that's like, you know, a 70-foot wave is just 1% better. He's just going to work. And it's like, for you, you know, 1,000 miles self-supported in a month in the snowy north is like, it's just a little bit harder.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. And Stephen Kotler, I love his work, the Flow Research Collective. And he does talk about, you need high, hard goals. You need this impossible goal, but you can't tackle that by looking at that goal. You tackle that in small pieces and small increments. And you're exactly right. And that's why, you know, it is the long game. It is why I signed up for this. You know, I'm doing really Iceland this summer will be great preparation for Alaska next March, and putting myself in situations that are incrementally harder and increase durability, and doing a lot of weightlifting now because I need to just be really strong to move my bike and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steven's a great guy to talk to. He's so fun.
I hadn't had him on the show yet, but he'll be on at some point, I think.
Nice.
I'm taking this year off racing, I think, at least for a little bit, and rebalancing in the gym and lifting weights. I put on 15 pounds of muscle so far this year, and it's like, it feels so amazing to be capable and just like carry my 2 kids, you know, one in each arm, and like,
yeah. No, and my coach, my former coach, Dean Golich, who runs the high performance athlete performance center for Red Bull in Austria and the US globally. He used to always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And it's like the feeling of, even if somebody's like, oh, I don't have a race on the books or whatever, but just training for life and continually that feeling of feeling strong, it feels so good. And yeah, and partially we need to sign up for races to stay accountable. But yeah, for anyone listening, yeah, go do a bunch of push-ups and pull-ups, because it feels amazing to just feel strong, and like to need to go lift your luggage and you're like, yeah, I got that. It's a really rewarding feeling.
And I have to, staying ready. Like, my dad is, how old is he? 68. And he's already ridden probably 10 times more than I have this year. And It's like, well, I have to be ready at least so I can finish a ride with my dad.
Right. Totally. Maybe you both need to come to Idaho for Private Idaho. Would love to host you.
That would be fun. When is Private Idaho?
It's the first weekend of September in Idaho. It'd be really fun.
It's a nice time of year up there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds intriguing. I'm always up for an adventure. I may be riding across Bhutan this October.
Very
be
cool.
a first
So
expedition
yeah, this would
in a
be
while.
an incremental training
Oh, there you
for
go.
you to get to Bhutan.
Now you're selling it. Okay. Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to. That's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month. And I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.